Good morning. I have been waiting to do this video for you guys, to talk about what I got told when I went to the very talented psychic lady. I don't even know what you call it. I will put all her information down below. She's not really on social media. She actually talked about that she was learning to get into, like, you know, social media and stuff like that, which I think is a very good idea because she's very, very talented. She is German, so if you book a reading with her, it will be in German, so you need to understand German or at least talk a little bit German. So a little backstory. One of my customers, who has become a very good friend of mine, went there and talked about it, and she blew my mind with what she had gotten told about her future or situation or whatever, how it helped her. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to go there, but my German sucks. I understand German like it's my own language, but when it comes to talking, especially writing, it's not so good anymore. I'm very, very rusty. That's something I really realized from that session. Wow. But she said she would take care of it. She would write to her. So I do want to point out, this lady, her name is Petra. She didn't know anything about me. She didn't even know my name. She didn't know my gebrochen German. So that in itself blew my mind with things that came up where I was like, wow, I didn't make this up in my mind that this is what I want. This is what I want to manifest. There was a lot of shocking things, and I used way too many hours yesterday listening through the whole recording and translating it into English, writing it, handwriting it, which was actually amazing because I had the opportunity at some points to actually take some cards just to ask a little bit more into it. I don't know how much into details I am going to go, but I do want to share this with you guys because it's fun. And it also shows that if you really have a gut feeling about something, you shouldn't ignore it. I say that while I look down here and we have the sun. Happiness and well-being. Well, there you go. So from the get-go, she uses not tarot, but playing cards, which is even more mind-blowing that she can come up with all these things from playing cards, from cards that's already laid on the table. I had 5 questions or more that I could ask, and she had already put out the card. So it's very interesting the way that she did it. So she actually inspired me to also become a better tarot reader. And one thing that I actually really took from her reading is that she told me that when I shuffled the deck, I needed to plant my feet flat on the ground. And that's something I pay attention to now. That when you shuffle, you plant both your feet flat to the ground. Because I realized that I don't do that, and it actually makes sense, especially with me having Mars in Capricorn, because connected with Earth, yes. But the first thing where she blew my mind was that she laid out cards, and then she was like, this is you, this is your father. And I was like, wow, here we go. And you guys know the situation with my father. And right off the bat, she tapped into that connection. But I'm going to try to go from my notes and go down and just talk about what I want to talk about. I don't know how much into details I'm going to get, but I hope that this in some way can inspire you. And that my situation, depending on how deep I want to go, can inspire you. But the first advice I got was to always be honest with myself. Because it can sometimes be hard for me when it comes to what I truly want and what I truly desire. She also said that something has to change in my life, and there is big changes coming my way. She had a lot of focus when it came to work, which is interesting because it's something that has come up in especially astrology readings that I have seen on YouTube, especially from is it Rocks Written in the Stars, where she really has talked about that for Leo risings. And when we look at our readings, that's also for you guys when I post readings, you need to really pay attention to your rising sign now, because that we are stepping into a period of time where we are stepping up the game. That means that we're stepping into the rising sign a little bit more. There's probably a deeper reason behind it, but always watch your rising sign first, then your sun, and if you feel like you need more information, you obviously can watch more. But I have gotten told that there is a huge change when it comes to career, and I've always been very confused about it, because I'm like, well, like, how dramatic can the change be, right? Because I have the YouTube, I have the photography, it's what I love to do, it's what I want to do, so it's something that I still need to figure out. What is it that, you know, what is this new thing? Because he kept saying, you're going to do something completely new. I don't know what it is. If any of you guys can tap into your psychic abilities, let me know. Because today I was like, has it something to do with singing? Because I love to do it, but I don't dare to do it. And this is maybe a sign. Or has it something to do with, well, she did actually say that it has something to do with, like, I need to put more spirituality into my work. And she said that it also has a connection to YouTube, which is interesting. Okay, one thing that came up a lot, and it's just a little bit scary, because I know that, okay, something is changing, something has to change, which, if you guys remember, I spoke about this energy of the next 3 years for all of us are like the years where major things are happening. If you look back at 2003 to 2006 and 2013 to 2016, what happened in these two time spans, whatever you call that, there was a lot of things happening in your life, and that is something that comes back in a way. And I said it before in a reading, in a video, that when I look back at those two different time frames, I have been in a relationship. I traveled a lot, I moved to another country, lived in another country, met new friends, tapped into, like, again, YouTube, the spirituality. And it's the same for all of you. Look back at what happened back then, because there's a lot of things that, like, comes back, and it's positive things. If there is some negative things that happen in those time frames, it's something you're overcoming and becoming stronger. Okay, what else do I want to share? Because I want to share everything, but how long do we want this video to be? But she really inspired me, and she was just the sweetest thing. Ah, she was so adorable. But yeah, one thing that did come up was what was fear. She said, wow, you have so much fear. And it's a shame. She said that so many times. That's a schade. So schade. Like, it's a shame. And when I was listening back to it, I actually heard a lot of things that I don't really feel like I heard when I was there. So when you get a private reading, like face to face with someone, always record it. When they allow it, obviously. Like when I do, I send you guys like a recorded video. Always watch it more than once, because you do get more information about it. But yeah, but it is my destiny to start something new right now that will make me very happy. So I did get told that there's a lot of changes in work area, and then I was like, well, let me just take the Black Moon cards and see what it is. And it's interesting because the card that came up was Leo, and I'm Leo rising, and there's a lot of activity happening, a lot of magic happening in my 5th house. So there you go. It's connected with television, public, traveling. Yeah, that I trust my ability, which I need to trust my ability more, I know. She actually said something that was very interesting. She said the universe and spirit they're very careful with us. When we don't tell them that we are ready to experience more when it comes to the spiritual, the underworld, spirits, all that shebang, they will hold back until we tell them, I'm ready. And until we show that we are ready. And then we need to practice, right? And when I look back, I did a lot of channeling in the past, but I turned away from it. And I got a little bit more structured with like things needed to be this way and that way. And I wanted to do things perfect instead of just flowing with it. And it's something I started out, like I tested the waters the past weeks. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to it, where I let spirit come through. I channel more instead of being too focused on the meaning of the cards, which makes sense. She also actually talked about aura photography, which was interesting because I haven't even thought about that, and I'm a little bit unsure if it's something I want to dig into, but obviously who knows what's going to happen in the future, right? So another thing that she talked about, especially when it comes to my dad, she did say that his body and like health is good. The only thing was his mind, which it's crazy how a lady who doesn't know me can pick up on that. I'm like, you know, the moments where I probably had a very shocked face was like endless. But she said that he was going to be here for many years, even if the mind, you know, was slowly maybe not going in the way it was supposed to go. But again, it's something that I know, it's something that our family has like talked about. And she also said that we do need to start talking about things, like when things turn bad in many years, whenever it happens, because you can change what the circumstances, but you can adapt into the circumstances, which I also hope is something that can help you guys with whatever is going on in your life. But an interesting thing that came up, because he saw something about signing papers, and I think she actually mentioned that it's something that's not too far away into the future. And when we talk more into it, she felt, and it's funny because I have played around with this thought for fun, you know, it was just for fun that I was like, well, maybe I actually need to take over the house. And she actually said that I will probably take over the house, like my name would be in the house. And when she said that, I got this like anxiety where I'm like, well, I want to travel. I don't want to, you know, be bound to the house. Don't want to be stuck in Denmark. I want to go out. I didn't say that, but I thought that. And further on in the reading, she did say that it's going to give me freedom with what happens with me signing the papers. That's probably about the house. So my name is on it, but I don't need to live there. I don't need to necessarily have anything to do with it. But it was apparently very important that this house stays in the family, and it might have something to do with someone who takes over the house into the future, because he asked if I had a little sister, and I was like, no. And then she said, well, it's a younger girl that you're very strongly connected to, and the one person that got into her mind was one of my nieces. So the house might belong to her in the future. And then she said that, well, it's interesting because she said there's two men. There's one person that really wants me, but I don't want that person. I don't know who it is. But it's not someone that I'm destined to be with, but it's someone who apparently checks me out now and then on social media. It was so funny. And then she said, here is a person that you are destined. She said, your reading there's this destiny written all over it. To the point where I was blown away, because I had a feeling that there is something happening when it comes to fated encounters and fated things, and, you know, again, turning to a new chapter with things moving forward. But this person was guided by his guardian angels. There's something falling from the candle. But once again, I need to open up to it. She said that I had a lot of bright colors around me, but the only place where there is well, darkness, a dark wall, was in my heart chakra. The next thing she said, and I'm going to just speed it up so you guys don't have to listen to me talk about all details, but she said, "You're not going to stay in Denmark." And I was like, oh my effing god, yes. That was my reaction, because it's so funny that it's something I have had the feeling of, that I will not stay in Denmark. I will move to another country. I have lived in another country before, but this, whatever it is, whenever it happens, which she actually told me, everything is ready, you know, everything is ready. Spirit is waiting for you. So, you know, you better let go of the fears. So I'm actually the one who needs to do the work now, because everything else is ready. But when this person comes into my life, this man on a white horse, probably not. Well, who knows, right? That is the moment where my life will change completely, which is another thing that I got told. When it comes to, is it something return? What is it again? Saturn return? There's something where things are completely upside down. Like I'm moving to another country with this soulmate. It was so funny because it was like, it kind of feels like there's like fame around this person. I was like, ooh, who is this? So a famous person from another country. I'm very excited to see who that is. But I will let universe take over. I will not dig around and be like, oh, maybe it's this person, maybe it's that person. She kept mentioning Ireland, that there's a connection with Ireland, or maybe I will move to Ireland, but there's something about Ireland. She also felt like I had a past life in Ireland, which is interesting because, I will link it up here. Me and Kiri, many years ago, went to Ireland on a very spontaneous trip to go to abandoned places. And there was one place in Ireland, like a nunnery, or yeah, it has been old, where nuns lived, and it's been many things. It was an old, big, not a castle, but like a very old building. And there has been, well, if you see it, we actually got busted. The owners actually got like, they wanted to actually, you know, ship us off to the police. That sounds so weird. But we actually ended up getting a tour of the place. So you actually get to see that in the vlog. So I am going to link it up here. But I have, in my mind, I always get back to that place for some strange reason. There's something about that place that like draws me in, so I'm excited to see him, if I will ever go back. I remember the people who owned it were renovating it, but it was a very hard procedure because there was something with the government that boarded up the window, which was not good for the building. Obviously, if there is not air and light coming in, we know what that does, right? So I'm actually excited to see if they ever finished it. I will have to do some digging to see if I can find it again. But yeah, got that told. There's also something about the new thing that I'm tapping into or doing when it comes to work. I'm going to make a lot of money. Another thing we really liked. Like to hear. I'm destined to make a lot of money, but I'm also destined to let go of my fears that might be connected to a past life. And I'm supposed to help other people with their fears, which again, you know, I hope that's something I do for a lot of you guys, and I hope that's something I will do even more. And I also had, I think I talked about that many years ago, I had this vision of me being somewhere in my house or something, and then having clients coming to me. And the specific vision that I had was a lady who came to me, and I was sitting on a couch, she was sitting on a chair. Next to me there was this like boy, like a spirit who was sitting next to me. And in front of me was the mother who lost this boy. So we connected and she healed something. And she healed this past trauma. And I remember I did actually, maybe that's where the aura thing comes in. I like that we are working out what this is together. The shocking thing, she told me, was like, she said, oh, and I see a child. And I was like, what? It actually is so funny because when I was listening to it, it actually took me some time to respond on it. And my response was a little bit like, what? Because first of all, you guys know, I can't have children. It's impossible. But then she said, do you say that it's impossible? Or did the doctors say it was impossible? And I was like, what did the doctors say? And then she was like, listen, I know a woman who got told that she could never get kids. She has 6 today. And I was like, well, I mean, it hasn't crossed my mind to have kids, I will say. And obviously, who knows how? Because my friend who was there, because he translated a little bit, because again, my Deutsch is nicht sehr gut. My German is very, very poor. She asked, like, could it be because that I'm adopting a child, or could it be because that this man has a child? And she was like, it could be, you know. And then later on, she actually said, like, it was a boy. And when she said that I will have a boy, I actually got a little bit emotional. I could feel that my reproduction things, wherever they are in my body, however they work, if they are sleeping, which is funny because I actually got told back then that my system is sleeping. So maybe this person is going to awaken it, which I don't know if I'm ready for that. But there could be a son. But it's so interesting because when I have been, but she was this woman, I mean, she's also very good. When I have got other readings done, there was 2 in the past where I got told that I would never have kids. But then again, we also know that it depends on our growth, on our journey, how ready we are, how ready we are not. And she actually did say that there is a reason why I got the reading done from her, because I was ready. I was at a point in my life, which makes sense with 2013. Oh, okay. 2023. With all of us, that we are ready for something new. Can you guys believe it? I might actually be a mom in the future. Oh. But you guys are still my children. Yeah. So I will live in another country. And I actually think that is what I want to talk about. Yeah. That is like the biggest things that I can point out. She actually gave me this card. I shuffled it, and then she was like, you can keep this one, which is, you know, just with everything that she's talking about. Glaube ist die Kraft des Herzen. Gib ihr Raum. Which means, I did translate it because I do want to say it. Yeah, okay. Believing is the power of the heart, giving it time and space. And believe in yourself. Now you know that you need to believe in yourself. That is what she said after. So this is my card. I love it so much. It's close to my heart all the time. Yeah. I don't think there's a... She actually talked about the book. I wonder if you guys have read it. The Journey by... Was it Brandon Bay or something? Yeah. I also got a card before I got the little one, which it's worth the wait. Your patience will be rewarded. How crazy is that, people? How crazy is that? So now I need to really focus and center myself. Let go of the fear. And also one thing she pointed out was something that happened in my childhood is actually the catalyst of why the fear is here. And she actually talked about that it's because in a situation, control got taken away from me. And that is something I also have to work on when it comes to control. That I'm afraid that, you know, control is being taken away from me. So that was interesting because that was something I didn't even, you know, I didn't even think about that. That's something that happened when I was a child can affect me in so many ways in my adult life. And it's the catalyst of, or it might be the catalyst of why, because my menstruation, now we are talking, people, for all the boys, yes, you are listening too. It completely stopped when I was 13. So I haven't had my menstruation circle, which is a blessing. We actually laughed about that because he was like, I wish that was me. But I haven't had it. But I will say that if suddenly, when this man comes into my life, the period is also coming, I might be a little bit like, oh, damn you. But I guess, again, there is a deeper meaning with everything, right? But it's just interesting, and I feel very different. I can't explain what it is, but I feel different. It has opened up for something, and I talked with one of my really good friends about this, and she also pointed out, isn't it crazy that I have received all these confirmations with, you know, yeah, the Juno in Sagittarius. If you have Juno in Sagittarius, you might actually be connected with a customer, soulmate who is famous. So it's funny that I got that told. And also that it's someone from another country, that I will move and live with another country. How many times have I spoken about that? And here's the confirmation. So I hope that if you are in Germany, that you take the time to go to her, because she's brilliant, magical. And if you don't have the opportunity, you are more than welcome to book a session with me. All the information is down below. But that's it. Thank you guys for listening, for being a part of this journey. I'm so excited to see what this will bring me. Because he did say, once I let go of the fear, it will go so fast. Everything will go very fast. The soulmate, the love, the getting married, the baby boy. I don't know how much baby boy he is, because again, it could be the camera died, because you know, it could be that this is like, and we adopt, is that what you call that, a child, or this person has a child, who knows. But it's exciting, and I can't wait to hear you guys' thoughts. If you have any feelings, write them in the comment or write me an email if you have a feeling, because I wanted to know. I thought I was sneaky, because I was like, is there a time frame when this person comes in? And then she was like, yes, Sandra, when you let go of your fears. I was like, oh, yeah, well, that makes sense. And that is for everything in our life. Because a lot of the times we want to know, when do I become a millionaire? When do I manifest my house, or this, or that, or whatever it is? And the answer is when you let go of the fear, or the worry, or control, or whatever it is. It's as simple as that. Yeah, but if you have a sense of feeling, zodiac sign to the person, sun, moon, rising, Venus, something, throw it my way, and I will write it down, and then one day in the future, when I have found a Mr. Right, he will be a part of a video, and then we will go through your guys' answers and be like, yeah, you were right. If you have a feeling of who it is. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Thank you guys for being here. I am going to get this out for you. I'm going to record the full moon in Sagittarius. We will talk about things, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.